of the Buzzwole Lycanroc deck, able to, of course, get any fighting or water Pokemon, means that not only can you get any support or support Pokemon or attacker you want.
Oh, no.
Oh.
No basic energy off that Max Elixir. He did see a strong, but remember, Max Elixir only able to attach basic energy from the top 6.
Yeah, so that is a very big miss for him, very unfortunate. And now it looks like there's going to be just a Float Stone on the active and then a retreat and a pass.
All right, so no real big supporter from him there either.
No, does he even have one?
I don't think so. And looking at Pedro's hand, it's looking pretty good. He has that Ultra Ball. He could go and get that Tapu Lele Bridget combo. And right now, doing what the best of the veteran players do, I'll use that free card, Brooklet Hill, and just check to see what's in my deck.
Yeah, actually, not only does he get a free check of his deck, but he can actually make use of that Brooklet Hill, of course. Playing the Riolus, he can take one from his deck and bench it. It is a fighting Pokemon, after all.
That is right. And we saw him kind of pick up the important cards in the matchup, as you see. So picking up those puzzle of times, making sure all 4 are in the deck. Now you see Parallel City coming up, Mallow coming up, Rescue Stretcher. He wants to make sure all the important cards are in his deck.
Yeah, and this is something that all of the high-level players will really do to some extent, just to make sure that for the given matchup there, that you don't end up looking for something later on and then accidentally make a bit of a whoopsie and realize that you don't have access to it when you would have needed it most.
Make a bit of a whoopsie.
Make a bit of a whoopsie. Yes, that's the phrase I'm going for, Jeremy. I'm sorry. Like.
All right, so here's the Ultra Ball. Getting the Riolu does kind of limit the Tapu Lele Bridget play to only getting 2 Pokemon.
Indeed.
So it'll be interesting if he goes for that, or if he just goes for Zorua, or if he just goes for a Tapu Lele for a different supporter as well.
Yeah, well, that is the Tapu Lele in any case. And I mean, if he were to get a Bridget, he'd only be able to bench 2 more Pokemon off of it. It might still be worth doing that on the virtue of he still can get 2 Zoras off of it, and that is indeed what he decides to do.
All right, full bench now for Pedro here. And getting those extra Zora in play are pretty important. Granted, to be fair, Dyego did not have a pretty stellar turn 1. But if he has access to maybe a Guzma, it could take a quick knockout on Zoruas.
Yeah, something we mentioned a couple of times already is that one of the virtues of this Buzzwole Lycanroc deck is that even if you don't have a draw supporter turn 1, as long as you can lead with an attacker like Buzzwole and you have something like Guzma to pick off things on the opponent's bench, you're fine with not drawing a massive amount of cards. You can get away with just setting up some nice numbers with Jet Punch, and you sort of have that carry you through your early game until you find those draw supporters to power up your big attackers later.
Yeah, you even have access to that Lycanroc GX with its Bloodthirsty Eyes ability as well. And here we see Detect, Jab, 30 damage.
Wow, actually, that's really, really clever. Something that the reason why he did that is because now it should be a lot easier with a Choice Band and the strong energy there. Evolving into the Lucario will now be able to pick up the knockout on that Buzzwole.
That is very heads-up play from Pedro there. I think he's probably done this before in the past day and a half.
Yeah, you'd hope so if he's made it this far.
All right, Brooklet Hill picking up that Remoraid from the deck. And it will be useful if he does have access to Octillery later in the game.
Yeah, just planning ahead there, or not necessarily planning ahead, but just make sure he prepares himself with the extra draws where he needs them.
While Diego's hand may not be that good in drawing cards, he does have that Bloodthirsty Eyes to bring up the Zorua. Energy on the Lycanroc as well. That's nothing to scoff at right there.
No, absolutely. And this is what we were talking about. Even if your hand is not not got that much going for it in terms of cards you can draw, just all he needed was that Lycanroc with the Buzzwole with the energy to actually make a really, really useful turn.
All right, Pedro deciding to bring up that Riolu, needing just a Choice Band and the Lucario GX to take the knockout.
There's a Zoroark who can start doing some trades to find his way into that Lucario, but he's actually wondering what to discard after that. It looks like he discards the supporter.
Oh,
an
that's
N.
rough. So his hand was Evo Soda N. And, oh, man. So the Evo Soda kind of guarantees the Lucario, but you still needed that Choice Band. And with Dyego not having any hand at all, really, that N was kind of counterproductive.
Yeah, so he really couldn't afford to play that. And now he has got the Evo Soda. He's going to get himself the Lucario, so not opting to go for the other Zoroark just yet. But he won't be able to take a knockout here because 140 damage plus the 30 already on there will not be enough. It will be 20 short of the knockout.
Yeah, and one thing he does have in his hand, though, is Parallel City, kind of maybe even limit Diego's bench a little bit to where he's only has this Buzzwole and this Lycanroc.
Yeah, and it turns Tapu Lele into not an out because he doesn't have the space to bench a Tapu Lele.
All right, Aura Strike from Lucario GX, 140 damage, leaving, I believe, what, 20 left?
Yeah, indeed. This is what we're just going just now. And, oh, there's an N in his hand.
Wow.
He must have gotten off the prizes.
That is sick.
That is sick. That's exactly what he wanted to see. And so, although it looks like he's actually just debating playing the Guzma. He does.
Well, I mean, why not? This Buzzwole is going to get knocked out anyway, especially if you play the N. It's less likely that you draw like a Float Zone. You don't have bench space to play more Buzzwoles. So why not take out this Zora, leave you with one Zoroark GX in play, and kind of take a commanding lead here. And remember, you still have that Lycanroc on the bench.
Yeah, that's very true. It's a really strong play from Diego's side. And now back to an even number of prizes too, and really limiting the options that Pedro has to do to trade, which is especially effective given that Pedro doesn't have a supporter.
Yeah, exactly. And that 30 damage on that Lucario means 180 HP left. And if things stay the way they are right now with 3 bench Pokemon on Pedro's side of the field, a simple energy choice band will be able to take a knockout with Dangerous Rogue GX.
Yeah, and that's really not something that Pedro has to contend with. There is the Aura Strike, again, not getting extra damage, but obviously with Buzzwole only having 20 HP left, still able to take the knockout and pick up 2 prizes there. Now, going to be back onto Diego. What can he do?
There it is! Choice Band and a Fighting Energy. These prizes have been insane for Diego.
This combination of getting stuff on the prizes and drawing off the top of the deck, getting him exactly what he needs, and he's completely content to hold onto his hand. He's just going to bring up that Lycanroc and go Dangerous Rogue.
And then, of course, after this Dangerous Rogue, going down to 2 prizes, meaning a simple Claw Slash to a Zoroark could take the game for him.
That's absolutely insane. He's done so little, yet he's done so much. Yeah.
Wow.
How does Pedro respond to this now?
He discarding the N and not being able to draw much of any other supporter. It's kind of slowed Pedro down a little bit, and then Diego's like, I don't need the N. Yeah. I'll just naturally draw the cards I have.
Yeah, absolutely. There is an Ultra Ball now from Pedro's side. This is how he's going to try and do something to counteract this. And he's going to go for a Tapu Lele, and that's going to be able to allow him to use Wonder Tag and grab a supporter, and I'd imagine he's going to go for an N here.
Yeah, it has to be N. To be fair, though, he only has 4 prizes, so it's not going to draw him that much.
No, it's not. He does at least have the Lucario ready to go, so all he needs now is to draw into one of his remaining strong energies to actually get an attack off, and he was able to find another Zora too and just put that on the bench for good measure.
Man, this has just been an insane first 3-4 turns from Dyego here.
Yeah, just doing just enough every single time, just a little bit. I say just enough. I mean, he's obviously done enough to take a lead here, but he hasn't had to play many cards in order to achieve a really commanding game state.
All right, well, he did get the energy he needed. Now all he needs is a Guzma to take the game next turn.
Wow, okay, so...
Unfortunately, the other card in his hand is Super Rod, but if the past few turns have taught me anything, never count him out.
No, I think you're absolutely right there. And meanwhile, on Pedro's side, he actually did not see the energy he needed. He sees a double colorless, but that's not a strong energy, and neither of those 2 cards are strong energy either. The trade end up being a miss.
Having that double colorless energy, you won't really be able to profitably attack with Lucario GX, and essentially wasting the evolution this turn with Aura Strike. Here's the top card of the deck. It's a Tapu Lele for the Guzma.
No way.
That is game. Wow. Just the top cards of his deck are feeding him and feeding him. And Diego is hungry for that championship.
He knows, he is no nonsense. He knows exactly what he needs to do to win, and every single time he has had it, and he takes a very, very early game 1 win.
He didn't even play a draw supporter that game.
No, he didn't. He didn't need to.
Draw supporters are so last week. Top of the deck prizes is where it's at.
Yeah, Diego has proven that definitively right here in this game 1.
Wow.
So, in summary, what Diego needs to do to win this game and go to the final is to do that again?
Yeah. Yeah. Do that again. Exactly how it was. You're fine.
Yeah. And what Pedro needs to do is hope that Diego doesn't do that again.
Oh, man. That was such a quick game 1.
I think if I blinked, I think I would have missed it.
Yeah. Wow. I'm speechless.
Yeah.
Really.
It seems to be a recurring trend for the both of us. So things are just happening over these games and these streams where we just don't even know how to react. And I mean, I don't think anyone can really blame us, to be honest.
Yeah.
All things considered. Wow. Okay, but let's return to ourselves. So let's go back into this game. So game 2. Obviously, that's been a bit of a hard battering for Pedro in this circumstance. So now he's going first at least. He's going to be able to set himself up nicely. How does he make sure that doesn't happen again?
Okay, so it goes down to that decision where he had 2 cards in hand, the Evo Soda and the N. All right? Discarding the N was the better play. Your opponent hasn't really played much. You have the Evo Soda for the Lucario. You already have the energy, and then if you draw another one of your many supporter outs, or just the choice band, you'll take the knockout and a commanding lead.
Yes.
But things just did not turn out that way. Trade was not in Pedro's favor.
No, it wasn't. Now, just a quick mention of the prizes there. Actually, it looks like Dyego prized 3 basic fighting energy. Now, I believe he's playing 9, so that's actually like 1/3 of his basic energy gone to the prizes. It's not really ideal.
Yeah, it'll definitely hurt him a little bit if he's relying on Max Elixirs earlier on in the game.
Which, although to be fair, he didn't really do that game 1, so it might not even matter too much.
He missed the Max Elixir. It was looking bad. Like Max Elixir, attach, retreat, pass.
Yeah. I think that's another thing to mention. I don't think I could have predicted that game going that way on the basis of Diego's start as well. That's the other crazy thing.
All right. Players have their Pokemon in their active. Pedro putting out his prizes now. Acerola, the Mallow, the Mew EX.
Oh, that is absolutely huge, especially considering something that we noticed at the beginning but neglected to mention so far. Dyego isn't playing a counter to Mew EX.
Yeah, usually you see these Buzzwole Lycanroc decks with their own Mew from Fates Collide or even Mewtwo from Evolutions. And Diego's like, nah, I don't need any of that. I got a Zygarde EX that's not weak to Psychic. That could carry me the entire game.
Yeah, and also he definitely doesn't need that if the opponent ends up putting the Mew in the prizes. Now, Pedro's going first here. He has got, that looks to be an Ultra Ball. It looks like it's...
No, that's an Enhanced Hammer.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. So...
Oh, this is a puzzle time. Those were his top 3.
Oh. Oh, dear.
Oh, dear.
That normally isn't a good sign. He has got a strong energy.
No, just a pass.
Hold on, could he actually win? No, he can't win the game here. The maximum that the Buzzwole could do to this Riolu is 60. Or the Buzzwole, like strong energy plus Regirock. Because the choice band obviously can't do more to the Riolu.
Yeah, he would have to hope for some crazy combination of double Max Elixir on a Tapu Lele with an energy attachment and then a Float Stone to the active, which the choice band already kind of cancels that out.
Yeah. There's a fighting energy. Oh my goodness, is this game about to be over already? There's he mentions the Oricorio as well. And just announces Jet Punch.
Wow. Pedro needs this top card of the deck to be something good.
Well, it's a Guzma. Okay, that's still not great. I mean, that would have been the card he put at the top of his deck with Puzzle of Time. He can use that and hope that Dyego doesn't have a way to retreat this Oricorio. But that's all he can do.
So he's bringing up that Oricorio. He might use this, or he's evolving the Lucarios just straight up.
Okay, so that makes him a little bit safer. So now Dyego has to dig for a couple of Max Elixirs maybe in order to get the KO, because obviously Jet Punch won't be enough on its own. And he actually just takes the KO on the Oricorio. 1 prize.
Gets a Rangaroo from the prize is not really what you need right now.
Indeed not. And this actually is doubly useful because now it's going to be a lot more awkward for Dyego to work with this Buzzwole, because in the active, obviously, you can't Max Elixir to a Pokemon in the active, so it's going to be a lot harder to get the free energy on it needed to take the Knuckle Impact KO.
Yeah, that is true, but we do see Dyego draw that Brooklet Hill for the turn, and in combination with Max Elixirs and that energy switch he plays, we could see a surprise Absorption GX out of nowhere.
And if we saw that, the game would be over, ladies and gentlemen. He's got the Sycamore there. He has the Max Elixir ready in hand and a strong energy. So this Max Elixir is going to get played. Does he? He's not likely to hit though on the basis of his energy, so many of them being in the prizes, and indeed he does miss. Those free basic energy in the prizes really, really hurting.
And I believe he got a Sycamore off of that Wonder Tag. So he will be able to try to spin the wheel again. Like, okay, let's hope. That first one didn't work. I kind of just want to end this now and go to the finals and not have to worry about anything else.
Yeah, he would obviously like to close that game out as soon as possible if he can. Now, there is a strong energy in his hand. I think he's debating whether he wants to play this now, whether he wants to wait. But it looks like he's actually just going to put it on. He's really not sure.
Well, it's awkward because with Cantankerous Beatdown GX, you really have to be careful of how you damage this Lucario.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And he actually does draw another strong energy, but he doesn't draw another Max Elixir, so Pedro's going to be safe for one more turn at least.
Yeah, and he actually didn't play that, or did he play the Brook, or is that just his discard?
I'm actually not sure if that's his discard or whether that's just whether that's actually in play or not. Maybe perhaps a little bit nervous given how much is on the line. Just forgetting it.
There's also shutting off Pedro from getting a real Lu from his deck.
Yes, of course. No, that's absolutely right. Yes, that would have been why he avoided it. Then wanting to maximize his chances of actually getting the win this turn.
And this is the Ultra Ball from Dyego here. Does have a few options to get.
He does indeed. And he's just going to go for another Buzzwole.
So I think he could safely attach the strong energy to the bench and then still just do the 60. And then if Pedro goes for the knockout, well, we could try again.
He could. I just wanted to point out something very important. Looking at Pedro's hand, he still doesn't have another draw supporter. His hand is completely... He has an Oranguru, which he can bench to stop himself from losing straight away. But look, his hand consists of a Evo Soda, an Oranguru, a Zoroark, and a Rescue Stretcher.
Yeah, and he did Puzzle of Time rearrange his top 3, so he should know exactly what he's drawing.
But is what he's drawing actually good enough?
I don't know. Usually you try to put that draw supporter at the very top, and the top card was a Guzma instead.
So that I guess that kind of tells us that for at least 2 more turns, Pedro will not be seeing any useful cards.
And it looks like Dyego does just pass the turn, really fearing that Cantankerous GX. And a Zorua off the top for Pedro. Still not what he wants to see, but it does keep him live for a few more turns.
Yeah, it does, and actually it's very important because if Dyego doesn't have another Guzma, then next turn, of course, Pedro can just play the Evo Soda and actually evolve up to the Zoroark and start trading and maybe trying to find a way back into this game.
Strong energy on the benched Buzzwole. Still
maybe.
Thinking about it.
Yes.
All right. Floatstone and then the Sycamore.
So drawing 4, 5, 6, and 7? No? There it is.
7. All right. There is a Remoraid and again the Brooklet Hill, but I still don't think you want to bench that or play that yet.
No, because it's fine for him as well because he's been able to actually find the Pokemon he needs off of his draw supporters instead. He's got a Rockruff in his hand to boot. So who needs Brooklet Hill when why play it down when it's just going to give your opponent an advantage too? Yeah,
Dyego seems to play the complete opposite of everything else. Just I don't need draw supporters game 1. All right, well I don't need Brooklet Hill game 2.
Yes. Now, oh my goodness, this is absolutely edge of the seat stuff right now. What's going on here? This is down to, I mean, it's down to the wire. It's not even that the game is coming to the end in that sort of sense, or we just don't know it yet. But it's at the precipice. There is Pedro's at a razor's edge, and he's really not sure if he's going to be able to carry it through. But he's doing just enough each time to make sure that he can maybe survive a couple more turns.
Yeah, trade, discarding that Oranguru. Getting a double colorless and a choice band off the top. Still no draw supporter for Pedro here.
Wow, okay.
And Hand Hammer does help a little bit, getting rid of that strong energy on the bench. Buzzwole kind of taking away a big attack next turn unless a Max Elixir hits.
Yeah, and it looks like now that Dyego opted to go for the Jet Punch, there will be enough damage on the Lucario so that a Cantankerous Beatdown will take the knockout, which indeed does happen. So now Pedro will be able to take 2 prizes. Will any of these be useful to him? No, it's another Zoroark and a Floatstone.
Wow. And the Mew is still in the prizes.
That's very unfortunate. Now,
wow, this Max Elixir misses again. Those 3 fighting energy in the prizes are really hurting these Max Elixirs.
Yeah, and then the home crowd really didn't like to see that.
Dyego still has some play here. Floatstone on the active means he's able to bring up whoever he wants. Buzzwole, I don't know. It still is going to take a lot for him to knock out this Lucario.
It is. Even if he's able to get on one strong energy and a choice band and the Regirock out, that'll be doing another 90 damage. He'll still be a little bit short of the knockout on that Lucario. There's a choice band at least, just for the sake of having it, I guess, and make it a little bit closer still. And it looks like now we're going to see a Super Rod shuffling in an Oricorio and a couple of basic energy, hopefully to make a future Max Elixir more likely to hit.
Yeah, that is true. With the basic energy on the Buzzwole, the 2 in the discard, there was really only 3 basic energy in Diego's deck for that Max Elixir.
Yeah, it's so crazy to even think about. There goes the strong energy onto the Buzzwole GX as well. Now, still not able to do a Knuckle Impact, of course, because that Max Elixir was a miss. There is an N in Diego's hand, though, and...
Yeah, so interestingly enough, N being the one draw supporter in his hand, but your opponent's just not drawing anything for the past few turns. And he kind of runs into the same decision that Pedro had to do last game.
Yeah, he does. Although I think at this point in time, if I'm Dyego, I'm thinking to myself, okay, sure, he has so many cards in hand. Surely now it's worth taking the risk because Pedro's hand size is not small. Like statistically speaking, even off the prizes, should have gotten something by now. And the advantage that you gain off being able to hit something good off of his end outweighs the shuffling in of Pedro's hand that you're doing, especially considering Pedro's only getting 3 cards.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
3 prizes means only 3 cards off this end. Man.
Yeah, so I think the N was absolutely the right timing to do that there.
And remember, Diego's, with all this board position that he has, still has the 6 prizes, so he gets 6 cards.
Wow, yeah, why not, right?
It does not look like he drew a Max Elixir. He does have an Ultra Ball, could get that Octillery and try to draw into it again.
Yes, and that might be his way into finding that.
He could also get a Lycanroc, depending.
Right.
Bringing up that Zoroark GX, 30 damage on it.
Of course.
Does he have the knockout?
Yes, he does, because he has the strong energy, the choice band, and the Regirock. So that Jet Punch will be doing 90.
180. That is perfect math, folks. He will take a knockout on the Zoroark GX. Goes down to 4 prize cards remaining. 120 on that Lucario. And it's the only thing Pedro has in play.
Well, that is an insanely powerful turn from Dyego there. And in spite of not having the prize lead, it still could be very, very tricky for Dyego to win.
Speaking of that N, he drew, I think, 3 or 4 Pokemon.
There was the Zoro was one of them. I believe there might have been a Tapu Koko in his hand as well. I'm not sure.
Tapu Koko and a Riolu, and then I think some other card that is not very good.
That's very unfortunate for him.
No, the Rielu's from the Brooklet Hill.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. But we'll get a look at his hand in a second. But yeah, that N was very, very effective. Could we just see a following up of like a clean sweep from Dyego here?
A Choice Band and a Zoroark GX. That's not what you want to see. We don't even have a strong energy to even try to Cyclone Kick here.
Dyego has a Guzma in his hand as well.
Oh, no.
This could steal the game for Dyego here.
Essentially, 2 games of Pedro just not having the cards he needs. And this could be a quick one, folks.
It really could. And you can see Pedro's actually just even deciding what's the best attacking option to use here. I mean, yeah... the problem is if you leave this Lucario active, it actually just gets KO'd by the Jet Punch again because it takes 90 damage. It'll be exactly enough for a KO.
Oh, man. And there we see the energy switch finally get into Diego's hand.
He doesn't even need it at this point, though. I mean, Jet Punch is just better because you get the KO on the active, and then you also get to set up something else on the bench.
Yeah, and he actually has another Ultra Ball. He could go get that Octillery now and kind of crush any hope Pedro has of coming back with N.
It looks like Dyego opted to discard the Guzma.
I mean, I think he's in such a big advantage right now. This Jet Punch is going to take a knockout. If he draws into an energy, he can load up this Lucario or this Lycanroc.
Yeah, you can. I just would have thought, because obviously Jet Punch is a better thing to do now, but I would have thought maybe he would just like to...
This energy switch. Wow. Now, Dangerous Rogue is live, and a Claw Slash could even come out and really just shut down anything Pedro can do.
By Dyego doing that, he might have actually just sealed this game here because there's no way that Pedro can deal with both the Buzzwole and the active and a follow-up Lucario that can KO pretty much anything he puts out, especially when... Well, I was about to say, maybe... slight mistake there. I thought Dyego had 3 prizes left. He actually has 4, so he needs to KO another 2-prize Pokemon to win.
Yeah, but of course, if Pedro doesn't play a GX down on the board, he's not going to get anywhere close to being set up.
No, so it's a catch-22. You're doomed either way.
All right. Dyego is down to 2 prizes left. 2 prizes to move on to the finals of the second ever Latin America International Championships.
You've got to be, you just got to be absolutely, I'd say really nervous at this point. Obviously, Dyego can't have been too nervous if he was able to get all the way up to this point in the tournament. But when you're this close to making the finals, you've got to be feeling it right now.
Yeah, and here Zoroark GX comes down. This trade will be important. 2 cards.
What does he see?
A Tapu Lele and I think a Cynthia.
I mean, it's helpful, but again, it might be one of those too little too late situations. And if he benches that, of course, that's another 2-price target that Dangerous Rogue can take out, potentially, depending on if he's able to find a choice band.
And honestly, I think I see a Guzma in Diego's hand. Yet there is a Guzma in his hand. And with just the 3 Pokemon in play, it's still a knockout on that Zoroark GX with that 30 damage.
Oh my goodness.
So if Pedro does not play an N this turn, he will just lose the game next turn to a Dangerous Rogue.
Yeah, because there's even if Pedro doesn't mention on the Pokemon, 100 doubling for weakness just takes like I said, takes out the Zoroark. Wow. I mean, given that Pedro does have the Tapu Lele, he can find the N with the Wonder Tag, but then he's benched a 3rd Pokemon, and then Dangerous Rogue could take out something else as well. Again, it's just this catch-22 situation.
And then N still doesn't even matter that much because Abyssal Hand from Octillery on Diego's side of the field.
Yeah. Dyego has done a fantastic job of pretty much eliminating every single out that Pedro could have to make a comeback here. He's taken this lead and now he's cemented it. And this is something that we see the best players in the world doing when they are in this favorable position. They won't get complacent and just throw it away.
Yeah, and you see the strength of this Buzzwole Lycanroc deck just hitting out of the gate super fast, taking those knockouts, and both of your main attackers just do so much damage. And there's the Cynthia. So the game is over.
Yeah, the game is over. I mean, the crowd don't know it, and the 2 of them, well, one of them knows it, but Pedro doesn't know it. Yeah, it's just a matter of time, folks.
Are you prepared for this place to go loud?
I'm not sure if I am. I'm going to have to be because it's definitely going to happen.
Just looking at Pedro or Dyego, he knows. Like he cannot sit still.
And he's waiting for it as well. He's not even just going to, show it and say, look, I have it. He's going to wait for Pedro to play out his turn, and then he's going to slam down that Guzma, and like I said, this place is going to go into an uproar when that happens.
He's crushing Pedro's dreams of winning a 2nd international championships. So here's the knockout on the Buzzwole. Bring up that Tapu Lele. Guzma, bring up the Zoroark, and Dangerous Rogue GX for the game.